Hello guys, Shia here. I'm excited to finally show you the new calculator that was in development by the Whirlwind's Math Discord. They have put a lot of work in this and you guys will see how powerful this tool is once I introduce it to you. But I want to keep this video as short as possible because there's a lot to talk about, so let's get straight into it. So first of all, once you open the site, we're gonna go to the profile page and we're gonna create new profile and name it your character name, just so it's clear what it's used for. We're gonna select our path, select the set effect that we're using, and then select the inner ways that we are using. After we finish setting up the basics, we're also gonna input all of our gear. And the way you do this is that you navigate to the gear page, select a piece that you want to import, go to the tuning menu, and then you want to use a snipping tool to take the screenshot of the stats, like so. After that, we import the screenshot by just pressing Ctrl V, and the scanner should get most of the stats correct, but we should still double check just to be sure because it's not fully accurate. So we select the level here, we select the rarity here, which is epic in my case and level 86, and make sure you double check that the gear slot is detected correctly because many times it happens that this is incorrect. After we have imported all of the gear, we also need to make sure to select if any of the slots are already retuned. For example, on the boots, I retuned mean physical attack, and we need to select this because if we don't have this selected, the calculator is gonna think that we still need to re-roll the piece and it's gonna be giving us the recommendations on what we should be re-rolling first. If you are missing any talents or oddities, then we should also adjust this page right here just to make sure that the stats are calculated correctly, because the calculator assumes that we have absolutely everything for our level, which means all of the gear enhancements, all of the talents, all of the oddities. So we need to double check the stats here if everything is correct, and we compare them to the stats that we have in game in the detail page. After everything is correct, we need to go to the rotations and we select the rotation that we want to use. For me, this is gonna be the dummy rotation because this is how I test my DPS. But you can create custom rotations for different bosses. Like here, for example, I have created a rotation for the previous speedrun boss, and you need to just input all of the skills that you're doing. But this is pretty advanced, so I would advise everybody to just use the dummy rotation, or for the pug rotation, if you just want to do that, you can calculate it with the rotation here. After our DPS is calculated, after the gear that we have is calculated, the calculator will also give us the stat priority, which you can see right here, and this is how you know which stats are the best for us. And as I have been saying since pretty much day one of me creating the videos, you can see that I was correct on pretty much all of my assumptions, and you can follow this stat guide to know what's the best for you. This calculator has another function. If we go to the gear compare tab and we navigate to the bracer, we can import the current piece that we own into the analyzer, and this will put it here on the left side, and then we can import the piece that we want to compare using the snipping tool. Double check all the stats so we know it's correct. As you can see, it wasn't scanned properly, so we just check what was here, minimum bamboo cut, and we check how much it was, 29.3. So if you see, if we equip these new gloves right now, we would be losing more than 3% DPS, which of course is very bad for us, but it's telling us to reroll a certain stat, and we can see what this actually means. So the reroll advisor is gonna tell us which stat we should be rerolling. In this case, it's gonna be crit because we're already overcapped on it, and it's gonna tell us on which path we should be rerolling it. As you can see, it's recommending Bell Strike path, and the best outcome is gonna be plus 1% DPS, and the average is gonna be a little bit less than that. As you can see, this is what we can get. I think there is a small mistake here. One more stat that we can get here using Bell Strike is gonna be maximum Bell Strike, and that is of course gonna be a loss, but even with that stat included, 4 out of 5 options are gonna be very good for us, so we should be rerolling this on the Bell Strike path. It's the same for the attunement slot. It's telling us what's going to be the biggest DPS increase. In our case, it's going to be charge skill damage boost. If we get a max roll, it's going to be an insane 3.61% damage increase. So we can simulate that. Let's say that we've won and we've gotten a max roll charge skill damage boost. You see that the gloves are already better even with the wasted stats of crit. And then let's say we win again. We go for max fizz, max roll because we're using a prismatic shell, and suddenly the gloves are 1% better than what we currently have. So of course we will be swapping them with this button right here. Of course the game doesn't know that we've already turned critical rate here, which means that we cannot turn it again. But this is something you need to watch out for. Of course, if you turn the piece already, you cannot turn it again, so you might consider re-rolling the charge skill damage boost, but personally for a 0.1% damage increase, I would not be wasting my materials on this. In the gear analyzer, it also shows us which piece is the best and the worst, and which one we should re-roll first. For example, if we remove Minfis here, it's gonna tell us The disc is gonna give us the highest average expected DPS if we reroll it, and the next one is gonna be armor. So this will tell you which piece you should be rerolling first, and it's also gonna be telling you on which path we should be rerolling it. So we can just use this recommendation, and then we see everything that we can get is pretty much gonna be a DPS increase. With power being the best in this case, because my talent is not capped yet. This is why power is so high value for me, but once I have 200 power, max phase is gonna be better. And this is one of the reasons why this tool is so powerful. It will help you save materials, it will help you grow stronger faster, and it will help you do more damage without having to think about which piece of gear is better, what you should be upgrading first, what you should be rerolling, how you should be rerolling it. Everything is done by this calculator, and this gives you more time to just play the fucking game and enjoy it. With this calculator, we can also simulate runs to get expected DPS. As you can see, my average DPS is going to be 29,000, with the best run being 31,000. And this is going to be the average hit distribution that we can see and the damage that we're going to be getting from those hits. So if you use this correctly, this is going to be a really powerful tool. You can even edit the skills, but this is extremely advanced. I wouldn't recommend anybody touching this. For the rotations, you can play around. If you understand the bosses, you can play around what you're going to do, how you're going to start the boss. Every buff that you apply, every debuff that you apply is applied automatically after the skill. As you can see, as soon as I use Spear Special, every other skill is going to have vulnerability added on top of it. And if we didn't apply Spear Special anymore, the calculator would realize when the debuff runs out and it would stop having vulnerability on the boss. The credit for this calculator needs to go to the Whirlwind's Math Discord. These guys have made an amazing contribution to the community. It is a very powerful tool for people to know what they need to upgrade, which gear they need, which innerways are the best, which rotations are the best. The possibilities are endless, and without them this wouldn't be possible. I think the original damage calculation comes from the Chinese spreadsheet that was popularized by Wins from CN in one of his videos, but all the other work and polishing it up was done by these guys. Collecting all the skill data was done by these guys, so credit needs to be given for them. Thank you so much for this, guys. Thank you very much for letting me use the dev version of the calculator as well, because I was testing it, because I was providing data, I was providing frame data for all the skills. So thank you guys for the early preview, and I'm glad that it's finally out so everybody can use it. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.